All right, you guys, welcome back to Atlanta Mix Radio, the new look and feel of AM radio. We are the woman station. We are out here in these streets with Karima Ali Bowens, but we're sitting here in this station at 3589 North Decatur Road in Scottsdale, Georgia. And I was able to get us an individual that is in the Virgin Islands on the ground there, and my heart really goes out to the people. I don't even know what to say anymore. I just want to tell everybody that we've been blessed. We've been truly blessed to a point where you never know where your blessings are, but until something happens. So I have a gentleman with us right now who is over in the Virgin Islands, the Family Resource Center. The Family Resource Center has been around since 1981 with the purpose of ending family violence in the U.S. Virgin Islands. They have 20-bed shelters for women and children victims of crime and significant amount of services that cater to creating a healthy family unit. This group has now went into overtime, and the gentleman I'm talking with right now is Mr. Vernon Arrigo. Vernon, welcome, brother. You guys have been doing this a while, so but since your services began in 1986, you've been opening your emergency shelters for women and children, and but you guys have to go into overtime this time with what is taking place in the Virgin Islands that just have been it was just, I don't know, a lot of people still don't believe that it's actually still impacting individuals, and it still is. Am I not correct?
Many people, I'm talking about thousands of people in one night, in 24 hours, lost their homes, their jobs, their vehicles, and possibly family members who either perished or evacuated the island in 24 hours. So imagine how long it would take you to recover from losing all that in one night. You know, it's not an easy thing to come back from.
There there are donations that are needed. When we were talking about what we're doing with the Feminine Relief Project, you told us about where people are staying at. Are staying in hotels, and could you give us an update of what's happening down there right now?
To actually put these folks up, and at no cost to them. The agency pays about $100 per family per night, so it's been extremely trying for many families. And keep in mind too, the domestic violence and sexual assault and those kind of things have actually increased since the hurricane, with people being stressed out, people abusing alcohol, abusing drugs, abusing each other. So the need for Family Resource Center has actually increased since the storm. And while that's happening, we've actually increased uh, our services to include distribution of relief supplies, everything from tarps and plywood to, feminine hygiene products and diapers and adult diapers and baby wipes and all those things. So for the last 3 months, while people are still trying to regain their lives, we have been both helping victims of crime and assisting those who are just victims of this hurricane.
With the one thing that I've been studying since we got went into this mode of trying to keep the voice alive to make sure that people remember as they're celebrating, partying, throwing away just cash on top of cash on top of cash on top of cash, that there are individuals that are not just suffering, but there's a mental illness that takes place when a person has suffered so much loss and devastation. And what you were talking about was the domestic violence is what we really have been reflecting on, and other shows that we're doing with the National Domestic Violence organization, and an organization down in Florida, Pain to Purpose. Now, when you look at the extra, I don't want to say burden, but the extra mold of abuse that's been taking place, is there any, are there people that are on the ground that are addressing, I guess you want to say grief, just counselors on the ground talking with families and loved ones that have lost people? Is there grief counseling down there as well?
We'll have to do what we can to get through it.
You said that 50% of the island has power, and the other 50% hasn't gotten. Is that correct?
That's pretty accurate. It may be a bit higher, a bit lower, but it's near about 50%. So some people, although they have power, it's still a little unnerving because your neighbors, your friends, your family members may not have power. Your coworkers, So although you're happy that you have it, you still know several people that are without. And so again, being on a small island, we feel each other's pain, and until everybody or until the majority of the people are back into a situation where they feel comfortable, we're all going to be kind of in the same rut. And right now, it's been about 112 days or so of no electricity for some people. So that's excessive. No running water, no ability to turn on your fridge or your stove. It's been very difficult.
And we're talking about we joked about this earlier, but we're talking about the U.S. Virgin Islands. That's a part of the United States of America.
Territory. We are right next to Puerto Rico. I can see it from where I am right now. So we are part of the United States. We are a territory, and we have American citizens here with passports and the whole nine. But we want to just say a huge thank you to several groups, especially in Atlanta, who are associated with Virgin Islanders or friends of Virgin Islanders who just took their time to say, you know what, we care about you and we haven't forgotten you. All of you who have donated and put together care packages and made phone calls and just sent your letters and your kind words and everything, your greeting. We really, really appreciate it. It has helped everyone to get through this difficult time, especially during the holidays. We need all those supportive comments and just those words of prayer. It's been very impactful for many of us. So thank you all.
So there's a now are the telephone lines working? Because you got a national hotline. Is that line working? Are the phone lines working? Because I know when I talked to Evan today, who delivers the packages and stuff, he was saying that a lot of the telephone lines and stuff were just now coming into repair. So it's
Some phone lines are working, some are not. The landlines are a little bit spotty. There's still, I mean, as I'm here in a parking lot and I can see there's several power poles that still have lines on the ground, and it's still very much a state of recovery for many of us, and we're gonna be in it for a few more months left to come. I mean, I don't think we will be 100% energized on this island until maybe April. It's a long road ahead. Some people will be without power for almost half the year. So it's going to be difficult, and we really are going to need as much attention and support for the next 6 months or so as we can get.
So the emergency crisis and counseling support groups to the victims of domestic violence and sexual assault and other violent crimes, those things are still occurring. Those support services are still available.
Although I believe every member of our staff has had damage to their home, including our executive director that lost her entire home, completely flattened, all four walls gone, and the roof, of course. Despite all that damage, everybody has still continued to come to work. We have expanded our services somehow, and everybody has been extremely dedicated to the relief effort, and it's just been an amazing thing to watch, to see all these people mobilize and work together to get back on our feet.
So I like some of the things that I've seen here. You have Women of Worth group. Wow. That seems like a very good supportive. As we were talking about, the psychoeducational group that provides support information to women victims. To me, in this day and age, with what they're having to go through, that was the reason why I asked about that. And then we're talking about in our Paying the Purpose show that we do, children in intermediate adolescence groups, right? So the children victims who are were living in domestic violence. I think that's most important. The children themselves that actually see that is something that we were addressing in our domestic violence show, and then you have Men Terminating Violence, MTV. Tell us a little bit about MTV.
To include anyone who is interested. But basically, it's an anger management program. It's a program dedicated to deal with the perpetrators of the crimes. So previously, we were actually called the Women's Resource Center, and we dealt with the victims only. And it expanded to be Family Resource Center, where we realized in order for this family to heal, the person who actually committed the violent crime needs to understand that there are better ways to deal with their anger. There are better ways to deal with your frustration and your family. And moving forward, in order for you to end the cycle of violence, you really have to come up with a better way and a better mechanism for your anger. So we actually have this program where the judges will recommend that instead of having the perpetrator go to jail, that they come to our class, our MTV program. And that's also for men and women, because although people don't really think about it, many women are perpetrators of violent crime as well. And it may have to do with first being victims and saying, you know what, I had enough, and then you become a perpetrator. Or it might be simply that's learned behavior where you grew up in a family where when you get angry, you put your hands on somebody, that's just what you do. And so we are trying to, with this program, curb that violence and help people to understand that there are better ways to interact and there are better ways to deal with your family, especially as it relates to the children. Because what we're seeing is in the schools, in these young relationships, the children copy what they see at home. And so if you have a regular repeat offender of violent crime in the home, this is going to be something that each child is going to see as they grow up. So this is where that MTV program came from, and it's one of our most successful programs because we actually get people, men and women, who come back to us after doing their 6-week program and say, you know, you really changed how I viewed the world and how I viewed my children, how I talked to them, and interact with them. And it's especially important for people who are no longer together, but still have to raise a child together. So we really try to help people to co-parent and understand that although you don't get along with him or you don't get along with her, you still have to work together to raise this child properly. So it's an all-encompassing program, but it's been one of our best ones.
I think that's a wonderful. I think you guys. I was just looking at everything that I'm scrolling through the website. I want to let everybody know that we are talking with Family Resource Center Incorporated in the U.S. Virgin Islands. That means they're part of the United States. They need immediate donations, General Relief Fund and RFC Rebuild. You can donate on their website. We're going to be posting this up on the Atlanta Mix Radio website, so therefore you can have their information. But I was asking about the phone number, the 340-776-3966. Is that national hotline up still? 7867. I'm sorry. 340-776-7867. That's stop. Yes, sir. Yeah. I don't know why they do that.
Your situation. And they found our number online, and they came all the way from Mexico to stay with us at our shelter, just to make sure that that person could not follow them and their child. So it's very important that the national hotline is available. It has been in use, and again, this is a problem that not only we have in the VI. This is a national problem, it's an international problem. It's something that we all need to be paying attention to. And even though we have a big crisis with the hurricanes and recovery, the silent issue is family violence. And it starts with the kids and goes even as high up as elderly abuse. So we really want to keep everybody, in the mindset of, especially during the holidays, show love, spread love, and encourage everybody to be more positive. And that this is going to be absolutely necessary in the next year to come.
The positive thing about what's happening is that there has been a national cry out for about the domestic violence situation, to the level where people are starting not to just become aware, but they're actually volunteering to get to understand what's happening. Now, the other question is, now your executive director is, now I know we had a conversation about, everybody, I'm not from the South, but I've learned to ask folks who your people is. And he said, so he said, where you from? That's it. And you said your mom, which is close to my age, did a little bit of a concentration in the Indiana, in the Hoosier state for a minute there. And so, but I know that, people like yourself, what has driven a man, because you don't very well see men doing this, especially up here. What allows a man to want to be engaged in something about domestic violence? What is your passion about doing what you do?
what I wanted to do with my life at the time. And if I'm going to ask people for money, I need to believe in the cause. I need to believe in what I'm asking it for. And so I fully endorse what the Family Resource Center does. They've been doing it a long time, and if I can do my part to make sure that the Family Resource Center continues to be here for the community, not just the Virgin Islands, but keep in mind we have something like 2.5 million visitors a year coming down here, and we've had several families that have lost family on the ships and have come to us for services, and so we cater to not just the Virgin Islands, but whoever is on, visiting us as well. And I was just impressed with everything that the organization does, and whatever I could do to help it grow and continue to do better. That's how I got involved. I'm one of two men on the staff currently, but I'm trying to recruit. So if you know, you want to help us while you're here, we put you to work. Don't worry, we'll find something for you to do, because we have a lot of work here available. And whatever my little part is, I'm happy to do it, because the cause is something that affects hundreds of thousands of families, if not millions, in the nation. And it's something that if you don't address, it's like a cancer. It's going to just fester and get worse.
The U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, do you take other people from? Now, which island are you specifically on in terms of the? Okay.
We cater directly to St. Thomas, St. John on Water Island, which is a small island in the harbor. We have a partner organization called the Women's Coalition of St. Croix that does exactly what we do, but on that bigger island on St. Croix. And we also partner with several other organizations here as well. Perfect Heart, My Brother's Workshop, different groups that have a similar message or similar focus, which is just to provide services to other citizens, especially as it relates to social services.
Yeah, Jenny Hawkins' organization, right? My Brother's Workshop.
Awesome. We work not exactly together, but the same mission, same idea.
There's a couple things now with the you guys are now you guys are, your shelter was lost too, right? So you had to move into an adjacent hotel. You had to put more people up in the hotels that were still capable of housing people, but there's no running water in the hotels.
Currently that are up and running right now have power, have running water. Initially, right after the storm, it was a challenge, and what we ended up doing was evacuating all of our clients rather than trying to find a place for them to stay here. It was much safer, especially when kids are involved, to get them off island where there were services, where there was medical supplies and those kind of things. So right now we've reached a point where our hotels are doing what they can for us, but we really are in the process of rebuilding our shelters so that we can get back up and running and fully function. We finally got electricity to our main office today, this morning.
Wow.
1,215 days of no electricity. So, again, we're happy for these small blessings, because it could be worse. Not everybody survived these storms. We lost our office manager just a week and a half ago, and it's been a difficult time for many people. So we're blessed to still be here.
You guys, we are sitting here talking with Mr. Vernon. How do you say your last name? Because I've got it messed up all on. Adauja. Okay. So the Family Resource Center started in 1981. That was right when I was a freshman in high school. So that's and basically everyone, they still need your help. They have a Facebook page. They have all the social media, FRC They need everything still. Please, 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 as I've been trying to get everybody to understand, if you don't want to work with us, now you got a direct connection to work with somebody else. Anybody that has an organization, your churches, anybody. This is what the Women's Station is about. These women and girls are in very strong, dire need for feminine hygiene products. You can go straight to the horse's mouth, and that's what I believe in. I don't sugarcoat stuff, and I'm sorry, but sometimes people feel like they don't want to work with certain people. Well, let's get to the cause. Let's get to the root cause, and the cause, and support, it has to come through the Family Resource Center, who has been doing something since 1981. Now, like I tell people, you don't have to believe me, and you ain't even got to believe Vernon. Yeah, what she just said. Okay. So, golly. Okay, I was looking at the time. I'm sorry, that's the station broadcasting thing. But you guys can reach out on their hotline at now, is that hotline something for people who need, or can people call and say, what can we do? Can we this is that okay? Oh, okay, so to call them is 340-776-3966. And on the national hotline, for those of you all need help, not to try to get a trip to the Virgin Islands, but you need help, 340-776-STOP, which is 7867. Um, Vernon, I appreciate this time, and I know there's just a host of other organizations that you guys are entwined with to make this happen, and to be able to send people from one place in the United States to the other. That is a network that is tremendous. It's like almost like the Underground Railroad, right?
Right, right.
So is there a family resource center in the States here in the
Few. There's a good network of domestic violence shelters, actually through Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and they have conferences fairly often. So we are connected with a larger network of national providers for services to domestic violence victims. You mentioned we have a network, we have support, and so everything we do is not just indicative of the Virgin Islands, but it's also about the national need and the national attention to the cause. And people don't often think about how important domestic violence is, but if you think about this, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 6 men is in a domestic situation. That's huge. And imagine how many people you interact with on a given day, and you see somebody say, "Oh, that person's in a bad mood," or "Oh, that person's mean," or whatnot. Maybe there's more to that situation than what you're seeing, and we have a lot of underlying kind of silent, sweep under the rug issues that, if we address them, will help to make this nation an actually better place.
The thing that I like most when it comes to what we're trying to do is that people can really relate to this more than anything, because everybody uh, has seen it. This is not like crack. I always say there should be no new crackheads, because everybody know you smoke crack, you become a crackhead. It's just that simple. So, but people cannot make excuses now, because this used to be back when my day. If it happened, you supposed to, whatever happens in the house stays in the house. That was how we. But this now has become a factor where it is involving children, and those children become a part of the victims, and then survivors, and then they sometimes become the perpetrators at the same time. And you guys really address that with all the outreaches and community outreach support. The community education outreach services prevention tool is what the activities that are set in schools, faith-based organization, and events. So there are just a slew of other prevention situations that are taking place. I also see that you have child abuse and rape prevention and methods of violence that you all have in terms of your prevention tools as well.
Those things are very important, and hopefully with a concerted effort and with the volunteers and with everybody and people like you who spread the word and express the need, we can start to chip away at the problem. And hopefully, and this is our ultimate hope, that hopefully one day Family Resource Center isn't needed, that nobody needs counseling, that nobody needs assistance, that nobody needs shelter, that all kids are safe. So hopefully that at some point we can see a Virgin Islands where our phone doesn't ring, where we're sitting at the office board because everybody's happy and everybody's healthy. So hopefully we get to that point, and that's what we're looking to do.
Well, with the root cause of devastation and people not having outreach in which they can see the end, I think that's more like post-traumatic stress syndrome, and that. That being said, you said that that the elevation of violence is taking even a curve even further, involving domestic violence as well. With that, and that's amazing to understand that that is going on because of that, and because of this, because of the devastation. Because people become, I don't know what the word is. There's hopelessness, and I think what we're trying to do and trying to reiterate here on air is that you guys that are listening, for those of the people that will be listening to this again and again, you all can change lives as part of being a part of the Family Resource Center. And because now you guys are, this organization now has to not only house individuals that are already going through something. Just imagine, ladies, that you're going through a domestic violence situation. Then this storm comes up, just like Vernon said, and now all of a sudden, 24 hours later, you have nothing. And in the meantime, you start your cycle. Now, I don't even know what to say. That can be just a horrendous situation for a girl, little girl that's actually starting, and we need to do something. And this is why I was able to reach out and let people know what we've been doing with the Family Relief Project. And Vernon, we definitely are going to keep you in our prayers and make sure that we have the address to send our packages down there. But we're going to send more than that. We're going to do a lot more. It just it has me choked up to understand the level of what's happening. Ladies, here in Atlanta, y'all know y'all making that bread, so y'all might as well just kind of like let's do it. Let's get together, and the station is right here at 3589 North Decatur Road, or in our office, our admin office is at 925 Main Street in Stone Mountain. And you guys can reach out to me directly at 678-789-6095. Now, Vernon, I want you to give everybody your phone number so they know that you're real, that you ain't sitting next door in the other room, so they can call you if they need you.
I actually have a problem people calling me directly and asking me questions about the agency, whatever you need to know. We're a 501c3 federal nonprofit, so everything we do has to be transparent. So if you have questions, please ask. Don't feel any way. Most of your questions can be answered by going on our website, which is frcusvi.org. You can donate on there. You can find out all the information about us, our social media streams on there as well. But if you need to contact me personally, I'm the development director. It's 340-626-3729. That's 340-626-3729.
And the shipping address is Family Resource Center Inc. at 2317. Is that the right address? It was commanded thing. Okay, Charlotte or yeah, right, yes. And now you know that's got to be a real zip code because I bet their social security number start with zero. I'm serious. It's the U.S. Virgin Islands, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you, Vernon, for your time, and we definitely going to be calling on to you to join our domestic violence show on next Tuesday. So we'll get some more groups, people together, and we thank you. And please stay safe and tell Evan definitely be with this guy right here. Evan is the guy. I'm telling you, he is that guy, and he came on and did a quick interview right after the storms, and only thing I can do is cry. I wish I was Oprah. I would just buy the island, buy it and build it, I call Oprah. Somebody call Oprah. I know that's right. They call somebody. you. Yeah.
All of you have been a huge help. I have to reiterate, there's a group called Operation Rebuild BI that's out of Atlanta. Dr. Yamilka Ruba in Atlanta has been instrumental in sending supplies down to us, and we've been distributing them out to people from as far as East End St. John to Bordeaux, St. Thomas, and Water Island, and everything in between. So, Atlanta, we love you. We appreciate you looking out for us, and we know that we've been in your thoughts, in your hearts, and in your prayers, and please continue to look out for us and pray for us as we continue to go through this difficult time.
All right, my brother, I appreciate you. Salam alaikum. All right. All right, you guys, that kind of bothers me to understand that all parts of life has this correlation, this connection. We're all connected. No matter, make no difference what you think you come from. We're all connected. You could pretend that we're not, but when you strip the skin off and they need an artery or like a, where they going? I think I'm giving up I'm a donor, so I'm just gonna give out whatever parts somebody need, kidneys, livers, stuff like that. But there's a lot of grieving going on in this country, and there's a lot of grieving going on in the Virgin Islands, the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. The next person that will be on the show will be a part of the British Virgin Islands, and we'll be talking with them about how our support with the Feminine Relief Project and domestic violence. This is what we're doing. This is not what we're talking about doing. This is what we're doing. So we're asking folks to donate directly if you want to, or you can bring your products to 925 Main Street, ship those there, or you can go to cecisfm.com, and there's all sorts of products on that store that is our partner, and being able to buy home supplies, anything. You got toilet paper, it's 39,000 products online right there, and you can order it at www.c as in Charlie, E as in Edward, C as in Charlie, I as in Indigo, S as in Sam, frankmary.com, cecisfm.com. So I'm gonna jump off of the Facebook because they let me back on for a minute. I can't invite no, I can't play any music, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that Facebook has me on, I guess I'm on probation right now, so they watching me. We'll be back, y'all.